You've been trained your whole life to be good, to be moral, to be decent. And that training is exactly what makes you pray for everyone who decided to be powerful instead. Nobody told you this, but the moment you chose goodness, you chose vulnerability. Not because goodness is wrong, but because goodness without power is just an open door with a welcome mat. And the people walking through it are not saying thank you. They are taking inventory. Being good is not being safe. Being moral is not being respected. These are two different things, and you have been confusing them your entire life. You think that if you are kind, people will be kind back. You think that if you are fair, people will be fair back. You think that if you give, you will receive. And every single time reality contradicts this, you tell yourself you just need to be better. Kinder. More patient. More understanding. That is the trap. That is the exact mechanism by which good people are turned into resources. You are not failing because you are not good enough. You are failing because you are playing a game whose rules were written by people who have no intention of following them. The rules of goodness, of decency, of morality, were not handed down from the sky. They were constructed. And they were constructed to serve the interests of the people who built them. This is not cynicism. This is mechanics. Morality is a tool of power. It always has been. And the first step to becoming dangerous is understanding that. Here are 7 principles that will take you from being good to being dangerous. Not cruel. Not heartless. Dangerous. There is a difference, and by the end of this, you will understand it. Number 1. Recognize that morality is a weapon, not a truth. Most people walk through life treating morality like it is gravity. Something real, something fixed, something that exists independent of human opinion. It does not. Every moral system you have ever encountered was designed by a particular type of person to serve a particular type of interest. This is something Friedrich Nietzsche saw with devastating clarity. He identified 2 fundamental moral frameworks that have shaped human civilization. The first he called master morality. This is the morality of the strong, the noble, the self-affirming. In master morality, good means excellent. Good means powerful. Good means that which elevates and asserts life. Bad simply means weak, degraded, pathetic. There is no guilt in master morality. There is no self-flagellation. There is a clear hierarchy of value, and the strong person affirms their own strength without apology. The second framework Nietzsche called slave morality. And this is the one you have been living inside of whether you know it or not. Slave morality originates from the weak, the oppressed, the resentful. It takes the values of the strong and flips them upside down. Suddenly, strength is called evil. Pride is called sin. Power is called corruption. And weakness is rebranded as virtue. Humility becomes good. Meekness becomes good. Suffering becomes noble. Submission becomes holy. Do you see what happened? The people who could not win by strength won by redefining what winning means. They could not defeat the strong physically, so they defeated them morally. They made the strong feel guilty for being strong. And here is the part that should make you sit up straight. You inherited slave morality. You were raised in it. You were educated in it. Every institution that shaped you, from school to church to culture, reinforced the idea that being good means being small. Being good means putting others first. Being good means not wanting too much, not reaching too far, not standing too tall. And you internalized it so completely that you do not even see it as a choice. You see it as reality. But it is not reality. It is a strategy. And it is a strategy that serves everyone except you. The moment you understand this, the world changes. You start hearing moral claims differently. When someone tells you that you should be more humble, you start asking, who benefits from my humility? When someone tells you that you should be more giving, you start asking, who benefits from my giving? When someone tells you that ambition is selfish, you start asking, whose power does my lack of ambition protect? Moral claims are never neutral. They always serve particular interests and express particular psychological types. Always. The dangerous person hears a moral claim and does not ask, is this true? They ask, whose power does this enhance, and whose does it diminish? That question will change your life. Start asking it. Number 2. Stop announcing your goodness. Predictability is exploitation. This is the one that costs you the most, and you probably do not even see it happening. You have been taught that being a good person means being consistent. Means being reliable. Means showing everyone that you can be counted on. So you announce it. You signal it. You wear your goodness like a badge. You are the one who always helps. The one who always understands. The one who always forgives. The one who never makes a scene. And here is what happens when you do that. You become a map. Every person around you can read you like a map. They know exactly what you will do in any given situation because you have told them. You have shown them. You have trained them. And the moment someone can predict your behavior, they can control your behavior. Not through force. Through pattern. If they know you will always say yes when asked, they will always ask. If they know you will always feel guilty when you set a boundary, they will always push your boundaries. If they know you will always choose the path of least conflict, they will always create conflict and let you rush to resolve it. Your goodness is not just a personality trait. It is an instruction manual for how to use you. And the people who use it are not necessarily evil. They are just strategic. They are doing what any intelligent person does when handed a tool. They use it. You would too, if the positions were reversed. So the answer is not to become a bad person. The answer is to become unpredictable. The dangerous person is not the one who is cruel. The dangerous person is the one whose next move cannot be calculated. When people cannot predict you, they cannot control you. When they cannot control you, they must negotiate with you. And negotiation is the first place where respect is born. Respect does not come from being liked. Respect comes from the awareness that the other person could go in any direction, and you need to account for that. Stop telling people what kind of person you are. Let them wonder. Let them be uncertain. Uncertainty is not discomfort. Uncertainty is leverage. And you have been giving yours away for free. Number 3. Understand the will to power, because pretending it does not exist makes you blind. There is a hidden engine behind every human interaction, and it is this. Everything alive is driving toward the expansion of its own power. Not always in obvious ways. Not always in ways that look like domination. Sometimes the will to power looks like generosity. Sometimes it looks like sacrifice. Sometimes it looks like love. But underneath the surface, every human being is maneuvering to increase their agency, their influence, their capacity to shape the world according to their will. This is not a dark truth. It is simply a true truth. The problem is that you have been told it is dark. You have been told that wanting power is wrong. That seeking influence is selfish. That desiring control is pathological. So you pretend you do not want these things. You tell yourself that you just want peace. That you just want to be left alone. That you just want everyone to get along. And while you are busy pretending, the people around you are busy acquiring. They are acquiring status. They are acquiring resources. They are acquiring loyalty. They are acquiring the very power you have been trained to feel guilty for wanting. And then one day you wake up and wonder why you have so little control over your own life. It is because you handed it away. You handed it away every time you refused to assert yourself because it felt impolite. Every time you swallowed your opinion because it might cause friction. Every time you let someone else make a decision that affected you because you did not want to seem difficult. The will to power is not something you can opt out of. It is operating in every interaction you have. The only question is whether you are conscious of it or not. The good person is unconscious of it. The dangerous person is conscious of it. The good person pretends the game does not exist and then loses. The dangerous person sees the game clearly, plays it with precision, and keeps their soul intact while doing it. Start watching people through this lens. Not with suspicion, but with clarity. When someone does something for you, ask yourself what form of power they are acquiring through that act. When someone criticizes you, ask yourself what power structure their criticism protects. When someone is kind to you, ask yourself whether that kindness is genuine or whether it is a down payment on future compliance. You do not have to become paranoid. You have to become perceptive. There is a difference. Paranoia sees enemies everywhere. Perception sees patterns everywhere. And patterns are what power is made of. Number 4. Master strategic silence. The most dangerous thing you can do in a world that demands constant communication is say nothing. Silence makes people uncomfortable. Silence makes people fill space. Silence makes people reveal things they never intended to reveal. And you have been doing the exact opposite your entire life. When someone insults you, you explain. When someone misunderstands you, you clarify. When someone accuses you, you defend. When someone pushes you, you justify. You have been trained to believe that silence is weakness. That not responding means you concede. That if you do not explain yourself, people will think the worst. So you talk. You over-explain. You justify. You defend. You clarify. And every word you speak is a piece of yourself that you hand over. Every explanation is a map of your mind that you give to someone who can now use it against you. Every defense is a revealed vulnerability. Every clarification is a confirmation that their opinion matters enough for you to address it. The dangerous person does not explain. The dangerous person does not defend. The dangerous person lets silence do the heavy lifting. Because silence is not empty. Silence is loaded. Silence says, I do not owe you a response. Silence says, your opinion of me is not my problem. Silence says, I am comfortable enough in my own position that I do not need to fill this space with words that will only be used against me. When someone insults you and you say nothing, they are left with their own insult hanging in the air. They have to sit with it. They have to wonder whether you did not hear it, or whether you heard it and decided it was not worth acknowledging. Either way, they have lost. Because the power in any interaction belongs to the person who needs the interaction less. And the person who can be silent needs less than the person who must speak. Marcus Aurelius understood this with a clarity that most people will never reach. He wrote about the discipline of the mind, the cultivation of inner stillness as the foundation of all outer power. He understood that the person who is not disturbed by the opinions of others has a power that no external force can touch. If someone can make you speak, they control you. If someone can make you react, they own you. If someone can make you defend yourself, they have already positioned themselves as your judge. Strategic silence is not passivity. It is the most aggressive form of self-defense that exists. It says, I see what you are doing, and I am not playing. Practice it. The next time someone says something designed to provoke you, say nothing. The next time someone mischaracterizes you, let them. The next time someone tries to draw you into an argument you do not need, simply do not enter. Watch what happens. Watch how silence shifts the balance of power in every single interaction. Watch how people start treating you differently when your words become scarce. Scarcity creates value. And your words have been far too cheap for far too long. Number 5. Hold ruthlessness in action with composure in spirit. This is the principle that separates the truly dangerous from the merely cruel. And it is the one that most people get wrong. When most people hear the word dangerous, they picture someone who is loud, aggressive, volatile. Someone who destroys without thinking. Someone who acts on impulse and calls it strength. That is not dangerous. That is out of control. And a person who is out of control is not powerful. They are just a weapon that has not yet been aimed at the wrong target. True danger is quiet. True danger is composed. True danger is the person who can make a ruthless decision without their pulse elevating. Who can cut someone out of their life without rage. Who can walk away from something that hurts without needing to announce it. Who can act decisively against their own interests being violated and feel nothing but clarity. This is where Marcus Aurelius meets Machiavelli. Machiavelli understood that power requires ruthlessness. That sometimes you must act in ways that conventional morality condemns. That the effective ruler cannot afford the luxury of squeamishness. But Marcus Aurelius understood something equally important. That inner composure is the only true source of durable power. That cruelty corrodes the one who wields it. That a mind disturbed by its own actions is a mind that will eventually collapse. Most people think these two ideas are contradictory. You cannot be ruthless and composed at the same time. You cannot act without mercy and maintain inner virtue. But you can. And the person who learns how is the most dangerous person in any room. Here is how. You do not act ruthlessly out of anger. You act ruthlessly out of clarity. You do not cut someone off because you hate them. You cut them off because they are a liability. You do not withdraw cooperation because you are vindictive. You withdraw cooperation because continued cooperation serves their interests at the expense of yours. The action looks the same from the outside. The inner experience is completely different. The cruel person acts from emotion and is consumed by that emotion. The dangerous person acts from judgment and is untouched by the action. This is what it means to hold both truths simultaneously. Ruthless in action, composed in spirit. The sword is real. The hand that holds it is steady. And the mind behind the hand is still. This is not a contradiction. This is mastery. And it is the only way to become dangerous without becoming destroyed. Because here is what happens to people who are ruthless without composure. They win battles and lose themselves. They destroy their enemies and corrode their own minds. They gain power and become prisoners of the very aggression that got them there. And here is what happens to people who are composed without ruthlessness. They are peaceful and powerless. They are calm and exploited. They have inner stillness and outer helplessness. You need both. The composure of a Stoic and the decisiveness of a Machiavellian. The inner fortress of Marcus Aurelius and the strategic mind of the prince. Hold them together. Let them coexist. Let the tension between them make you sharper, not fractured. Number 6. Walk alone. Loyalty is leverage, not emotion. This is the one that hurts the most. Because you have been told your whole life that the measure of a person is the quality of their relationships. That you need people. That you cannot make it alone. That isolation is a failure state. And like everything else you have been told, this is partially true and entirely weaponized against you. Yes, you need people. But you need to understand what people are for. People are not for comfort. People are not for validation. People are not for the warm feeling of belonging that you have been chasing since you were a child. People are leverage. Every person in your life either increases your power or decreases it. Every relationship either expands your capacity to act or limits it. Every connection either moves you toward your objectives or pulls you away from them. And the moment you start seeing relationships through this lens, you stop being used by them. The good person forms relationships based on emotional need. They attach to people who make them feel safe, valued, understood. And because their attachment is emotional, it becomes a vulnerability. The person who makes you feel safe can make you feel unsafe. The person who makes you feel valued can make you feel worthless. The person who makes you feel understood can make you feel profoundly alone. Every emotional dependency is a lever, and you have handed levers to people who never asked for the responsibility of holding them. The dangerous person forms relationships based on strategic alignment. They ask, does this person move me forward? Does this connection serve a purpose? Is this relationship reciprocal or is it parasitic? And when the answer is no, they walk away. Without guilt. Without ceremony. Without a long emotional processing session. They simply move. Walking alone does not mean having no one. It means being willing to have no one. It means being so complete in yourself that the presence or absence of any particular person does not alter your trajectory. It means that your partnerships are chosen, not needed. And there is an enormous difference between a chosen partnership and a needed one. A chosen partnership is two strong people combining their power. A needed partnership is one weak person attaching themselves to another weak person and calling it love. Most of your relationships are the second kind. You know this. You have felt it. The relationships that exhaust you. The ones where you give more than you receive. The ones where you are always the one adjusting, accommodating, shrinking. Those are not relationships. Those are arrangements. And they are arrangements that serve everyone in them except you. Walking alone is not loneliness. Loneliness is the pain of wanting company and not having it. Walking alone is the power of being complete without company. The lonely person is desperate. The person who walks alone is dangerous. Because you cannot threaten a person who is not afraid of being alone. You cannot manipulate someone who does not need your presence. You cannot control someone whose worst-case scenario is solitude, and solitude is their preferred state. Become that person. Not by cutting everyone off. But by becoming so rooted in yourself that no one is a necessity. When no one is a necessity, everyone is a choice. And choices are the currency of power. Number 7. Become unreadable. Control what others perceive, and you control what they do. The final principle, and in many ways the culmination of all the others. You have been an open book your entire life, and you have wondered why people keep reading you and then acting accordingly. Your face shows everything. Your words reveal everything. Your behavior signals everything. And in a world where information is power, you have been giving away power with every expression, every reaction, every unguarded moment. The dangerous person is unreadable. Not because they are hiding something, but because they have chosen what to reveal and what to conceal. This is not deception. This is selection. The good person believes in authenticity. They believe that being real means showing everyone everything. They believe that transparency is virtue. And so they display their emotions, their thoughts, their plans, their fears, their desires, all in real time, to anyone who cares to look. And then they are surprised when this information is used against them. Authenticity without boundaries is not honesty. It is self-sabotage. You can be authentic with yourself. You should be. You must be. But with the rest of the world, you are not obligated to display your interior. You are not required to be transparent. You are not duty-bound to show people your cards just because they asked. Machiavelli understood this at the deepest level. The effective operator controls perception. Not through lies, but through careful management of what people see and what they do not see. The prince who appears merciful when mercy serves him and ruthless when ruthlessness serves him is not being fake. He is being strategic. And strategy is not the enemy of integrity. Strategy is the protector of integrity. Because the person who cannot manage perception is at the mercy of everyone else's interpretation. And other people's interpretations are almost always wrong, and almost always serve their interests, not yours. So become unreadable. Not by building a wall. Walls are obvious. Walls tell people there is something behind them worth hiding. Instead, become a mirror. Reflect back to people whatever they need to see, while your actual position remains invisible. When someone tries to read you, let them read what you want them to read. When someone probes for weakness, give them nothing. When someone searches for your motives, let them find the motive you have chosen to display, not the one that actually drives you. This is not dishonesty. This is sovereignty. Your mind is your territory. And you do not leave your territory unguarded. You do not let tourists walk through your strategic center and take photographs. You control access. You control narrative. You control perception. And through perception, you control outcome. Because in the end, people do not respond to who you are. They respond to who they think you are. And if you control who they think you are, you control their response. This is the highest form of power. Power that does not need to assert itself because it has already shaped the field before anyone knew there was a field. Let me bring this together for you. You have been living inside a moral framework that was designed to keep you manageable. Not good. Manageable. There is a difference, and you have been too good to see it. The framework told you that goodness is its own reward. That virtue speaks for itself. That if you are kind and fair and decent, the universe will somehow reciprocate. It will not. The universe does not reciprocate. The universe operates on power. And the people who understand this are the ones who shape the world that you have been trying to be good inside of. You have two choices. You can continue being good inside a system designed to exploit goodness. Or you can become dangerous enough to operate outside that system while everyone else remains trapped inside it. Being good is not being powerful. Being moral is not being safe. Being liked is not being respected. These are the antitheses that you need to tattoo onto your thinking. Because every time you confuse goodness with power, you lose. Every time you confuse morality with safety, you lose. Every time you confuse being liked with being respected, you lose. And you have been losing for a long time. Not because you are weak. Not because you are unintelligent. But because you have been playing a game whose rules were designed to make you lose. The rules of goodness are not the rules of power. And you need to learn the rules of power, not because you want to become a tyrant, but because you are tired of being a subject. Nietzsche saw this. He saw that the moral framework you inherited was not a reflection of truth but a weapon in a struggle. He saw that slave morality, the morality of meekness and humility and self-sacrifice, was a revolt of the weak against the strong, not through force but through redefinition. He saw that the values you hold sacred were designed to keep you small. And he was right. But Marcus Aurelius saw something too. He saw that power without inner composure is self-destruction. That the mind that is disturbed by its own actions is a mind that will collapse. That true power is not just the ability to act on the world, but the ability to remain untouched by the world while acting on it. Between these two insights lives the path you need to walk. See the game clearly. Understand that morality is a tool, not a truth. Recognize the will to power in every interaction. Stop announcing your goodness. Master strategic silence. Hold ruthlessness and composure together. Walk alone. Become unreadable. Do all of this, and you will not become a monster. You will become something far more frightening to the people who have been using you. You will become ungovernable. You will become the person they cannot predict, cannot manipulate, cannot control. You will become dangerous. And dangerous is not cruel. Dangerous is simply the word that manageable people use for someone they can no longer manage. The moment you stop being manageable, you become dangerous. And the moment you become dangerous, you become free. Not free from consequences. Free from the quiet tyranny of being good for other people's benefit. This is the ruthless art Machiavelli perfected. The ability to see power clearly, to act decisively, to remain composed while doing it, and to never, ever let the moral framework of the weak dictate the strategy of the strong. Machiavelli did not invent this. He named it. He articulated it. He dragged it into the light so that people like you could see it and use it. And now it is yours. Not as theory. As practice. Starting now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when the circumstances are better. Right now. Today, someone is going to try to use your goodness against you. Today, someone is going to expect you to comply because you always comply. Today, someone is going to assume they know what you will do because you always do what they expect. Today, you are going to do something different. You are going to be silent where you would normally explain. You are going to be absent where you would normally present. You are going to be unreadable where you would normally be transparent. You are going to act from clarity where you would normally act from guilt. And the people around you are going to feel something shift. They are not going to be able to name it. But they are going to sense that something has changed. That the person they have been managing is no longer manageable. That the tool they have been using is no longer available. That the door they have been walking through is no longer open. And in that moment, you will know what it feels like to be dangerous. Not loud. Not aggressive. Not cruel. Just dangerous. Quietly, completely, irreversibly dangerous. Because you will have done the one thing that the system of goodness was designed to prevent. You will have chosen power over permission. You will have chosen sovereignty over approval. You will have chosen to stop being good and start being dangerous. And you will never go back. Because once you have felt the weight of your own power, the lightness of being good feels like nothing. So here is what I want you to do right now. Not after this video. Not after you think about it. Right now. Go to the comments and type these 4 words. I am untouchable. Not because it is true yet, but because saying it is the first act of someone who intends to make it true. Words are declarations. And the person who declares their own untouchability has already begun the process of becoming untouchable. Type it. Mean it. And then start living like it. The world does not need another good person. The world has enough of those. What the world has a shortage of, and what you have the capacity to become, is a person who is good on their own terms and dangerous on everyone else's. Be that person. Starting now. The ruthless art Machiavelli perfected, now it is yours. Use it.